I think we're seeing the development of LaMelo Ball before our very eyes. If you watch LaMelo Ball play, I see hints of SGA. Now, I'm not comparing them completely, but what I see is a team starting to corral behind somebody who's a decision maker, somebody who's a willing passer, and somebody who is willing to take the chances and willing to take the shot at the...
Critics weren't holding back. They called him nothing more than an average athlete, questioned his toughness, and argued that his game was built more on flashy moments than winning basketball. To them, he played like a high school star trying to dominate with talent alone, lacking the discipline, consistency, and competitive edge needed to succeed at the highest level. No matter how impressive the highlights looked, the common criticism was always the same. His style simply didn't translate into victories.
Yeah, look at this, LaMelo, look at the dance right here. Sanjay's like, okay, well, you shooting? I'm tired of getting embarrassed on the perimeter.
Your script is strong, but there are some repeated ideas. Australia/NBL section appears twice, and the transitions can be smoother. Here's a polished version that flows naturally from his unconventional path to his injuries and eventual resurgence. But LaMelo didn't follow that script. Instead of taking the traditional path through college basketball, he bet on himself and took one of the most unconventional routes any top prospect had ever attempted. At just 16 years old, he left high school, skipped the NCAA entirely, and headed overseas to play professionally in Lithuania. It was a decision that drew massive criticism. Scouts questioned the competition, analysts questioned the development, and many wondered whether the constant spotlight surrounding the Ball family was distracting from actual basketball growth. Every move became national news. Every game was dissected, and every mistake was amplified. For years, LaMelo remained one of the biggest mysteries in basketball. Most NBA scouts hadn't even seen him play live. While other elite prospects built their reputations through college basketball and traditional scouting events, LaMelo was carving out his own path. That uncertainty followed him until 2019, when he signed with the Illawarra Hawks in Australia's NBL. For the first time, evaluators could judge his game against legitimate professional competition, and the results were impossible to ignore. At just 18 years old, LaMelo averaged 17 points, 7.6 rebounds, and 6.8 assists per game, displaying elite court vision, advanced playmaking, and a feel for game that few prospects possessed. Suddenly, the conversation shifted. The question was no longer whether he was talented. The question was whether NBA teams were willing to trust a prospect who had rewritten the blueprint for getting there. The Charlotte Hornets did exactly that, selecting LaMelo with the third overall pick in the 2020 NBA draft. He rewarded that faith immediately. As a rookie, he averaged 15.7 points, 5.9 rebounds, and 6.1 assists per game, winning Rookie of the Year and establishing himself as one of the league's brightest young stars. A year later, he became an all-star and appeared destined for superstardom. Then the injuries arrived. What should have been a starter's ascent turned into a frustrating cycle of ankle sprains, surgeries, setbacks, and recovery timelines. Over the next 3 seasons, LaMelo appeared in just 105 of a possible 246 games. The talent never disappeared, but availability became the defining question of his career. For a while, it felt like the injuries were winning. But when LaMelo returned this season, something felt different. Charlotte managed his workload carefully, prioritizing long-term health over short-term production. As the roster got healthier, the wins started piling up, and now, the numbers are impossible to ignore. The Hornets starting lineup has become one of the most dominant units in basketball, posting a net rating that ranks among the best 5-man groups in the league. That's the part that changes the entire conversation around LaMelo Ball. For years, critics argued that his style couldn't translate to winning basketball. The flashy passes were called reckless. The deep pull-up threes were labeled irresponsible. The creativity was mistaken for chaos. But now, that same creativity is powering one of the league's most efficient offenses. Charlotte isn't winning despite LaMelo's style. They're winning because of it. His playmaking generates opportunities that most players can't even see. His pace forces defenses into mistakes. His ability to manipulate coverages creates advantages for everyone on the floor. The player once criticized for being too unconventional is now orchestrating one of the NBA's most effective lineups. And that's what makes LaMelo's story so compelling. The The league spent years waiting for him to change. Instead, he stayed true to himself. Now, with his health finally cooperating and the Hornets building a legitimate foundation around him, the rest of the NBA is being forced to adjust. The talent was never questioned. The health was. And now that he's on the floor, LaMelo Ball is proving that winning has always been part of the package.